What's up, Shady Sports Network? I'm here with a very special guest, European legend, Mr. Tyrone Williams. Tyrone, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Man, really excited to have you. So my first question to you is, where are you playing in 2024?
Right now, it's still in the works. I've been talking to a couple teams overseas, trying to see what my agent is like. We're talking about some teams in Mexico as well, but also still trying to see if I'm gonna continue playing. I just had a daughter last year, so kind of being away from her is a little, it's a little hard for me. So right now, I'm just trying to see a lot of teams I'm talking to, seeing if they'll allow her to come with me. So that's a big deal for it right now.
Definitely. And one thing I know about you is you were signed to the Vegas Nighthawks, and I was
hmm
super excited to watch you play in Vegas because I have a feeling you would have won MVP in the IFL just by your play style. What went in the decision to kind of step away from that opportunity?
So I was honestly, it wasn't my decision. I was ready to go out there, and probably like a week before camp had started, I just got a call, let me know I was released before I was even a chance to really get out there and show what I was about. So it wasn't my decision. I would have loved to play for the team. I love Coach Davis; he's a great coach. The team, I love what they preached to their players, and it was unfortunate I didn't get a chance to play for him, but
That's crazy, man. You would have
yeah,
dominated him. I'm
I
hoping
know.
you come back indoors eventually. Maybe down the
hmm
line in your career.
Yeah, definitely.
But playing overseas, man, like that's such a great opportunity. The setup there is a lot more, I don't want to say established, but they have a lot more resources overseas than they do here in the States. How do you feel the overseas game is?
I love it. I mean, a lot of people kind of get it misconstrued, like they don't really give it the respect it deserves. But those players, they try their hardest. They're out there working jobs while also playing a full season of professional football. So I gained a lot of respect for it as well going out there because when you're in college, you don't really hear too much about it. Like you hear, all right, I'm going to the NFL, and that's where I'm going. Like that's kind of what people see. But once you get out there, you're like, man, why didn't I know about this? Like a lot of people need to talk more about it, give it more respect, and that's why I appreciate people like this, people like you that are giving the European people their what they deserve.
Definitely, I appreciate that. But you're originally from California, Mercer, California. You train kids there, so you're rooted in that part of California. How important was it for you at a young age to kind of always stay in your hometown?
So for me, I was always about giving back. Like growing up, a lot of the people that were older than me always gave back. I didn't grow up in the best area, so I'm from Stockton. I went to high school in Merced, and now I live in Visalia, which is probably like just another town, like an hour away from home. But still, the same thing for me, like giving back to the community. Because when I was a little trouble kid, I had shout out to my guy Devon Hilliard. He runs a mentor program called Swag, Students with Aspiring Goals. And he took a chance on me and really elevated my game and helped me reach my full potential. So now that I'm able to do that for these kids, I'm trying to do the same exact things. That's why I have a mentoring program too called Absolute Armor Mentoring Program. It's here for like the juvenile kids and the kids that just didn't get too good of a chance at life. Like basically what it's for. And so as much as I can give back, and whether it's training, whether it's mentoring, anything I can do for these kids, I love to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, society doesn't give everyone a fair shot, but I'm glad that
Yes, exactly.
you're making everyone get that fair shot. So that props to you on that, man.
Appreciate it.
But I looked at you and you coming out of high school, you were a three-star recruit. I watched your high school film. Your arm strength and your height at that age, like to put it in perspective, Dylan Raiola coming out of high school is the number one recruit. He's 6'3", you're 6'4". You have a better arm than him, in my opinion. But
Hmm.
it's just, man, how did you get to that height? When did you hit that growth spurt in life?
Honestly, I would say like so. It's funny. I have a seventh grade picture where I was probably one of the shortest on my basketball team. I don't even remember hitting the growth spurt, but I hit it probably around maybe eighth grade, going into freshman year, and I shot up to like 5'11". I was just taller than everybody, but for me, I've always feel like I've had good size. I was never like small, but I've always had good size. So when I hit that growth spurt, it was this is good. I can work with this.
Without a doubt. And, looking at your college offers, did you ever consider? I saw you had some interest from the University of Arizona, which is a booming program now. Did you ever consider going there?
Yeah, so actually, I want to say 11 FCS D1 offers, but my like I mentioned earlier, my grades weren't the best. I was kind of a trouble kid, and just by time it was time for you to take the SATs and turn in your transcripts. My grades still weren't the best. So obviously all those offers kind of went out the window. And from there, I was planning on going JC, but luckily Rudy Carlton had saw me at a which is he at the time he was the offensive coordinator at Azusa Pacific. He saw me at a All-Star game that I had in Downey, California, going into that senior year summer, and he gave me a chance and they offered me, and I was able to go D2 from there.
Definitely. And you had a really successful college career. You know, you threw for over 3,000 yards. I believe you totaled over 30 touchdowns, 40 touchdowns, including the rushing. You had seven rushing touchdowns, I believe. So you being a dual threat guy, you know, I see guys like Lamar Jackson, they get stereotyped as being an athlete. What do you think the difference between an athlete and a quarterback is?
Definitely the difference between an athlete is because like me, I've played sports my whole I played every sports. I did boxing, basketball, baseball, football, all of that. And so just the difference in what kind of is I wouldn't say it sucks. It's a good thing to have like people know I already know I'm an athlete just by looking at me. But sometimes it sucks because like say I'll go into offense and they're immediately the first thing they want to put in is QB power. And it's like, yeah, I can throw the ball too. Like I'm pretty good at throwing the ball. I feel like I'm better at throwing the ball. I'm more like I like to compare myself to like Deshaun Watson kind of where it's like you can throw the ball, you can run if you need to, but I'm good at both. And so I even when I first started playing quarterback, I remember the first coach I ever had. I was a runner. I would literally just run the ball. I would drop back and just run the ball. And he was like, "No, we're not going to be doing that because you're going to have to deal with that the rest of your life. So we're gonna get that out of you right now. We're going to get your throwing right, throwing mechanics, all that stuff right." And so I definitely appreciate him for that. His name is Coach Lamar Allen. Just I like to give shout outs to people because you know what I'm saying everybody, you know, you get somewhere in life, everybody plays a part. But yeah, and so I definitely when it comes to being an athlete rather than just a playmaker. I like to be a playmaker. That's why I like to consider it. So,
Definitely. Deshaun Watson is that guy on and off the field for sure.
mhm.
And one thing I noticed about you is, you know, a big part of your support structure comes from your fiance and your daughter. You know,
Mhm.
I see you promote them on social media. How impactful have they been on your life?
Man, she's been so impactful. Honestly, that's something that's been the best thing that's happened to me in my life. Like for instance, when I went overseas, a week before I went overseas, we found out she was pregnant with my daughter, and so it was kind of a big decision to make. And she was like, "You know what? Just go ahead, just go. I'll be fine." She has her family here. Her family's very supportive. My family's supportive, so it made my job easier. I didn't have to go out there and stretch. She wasn't giving me a hard time. Even when I came back, she was happy. Even she was, I think, right before I came back, she was 6 months pregnant. 14-hour flight. She took a 14-hour flight out there, stayed with me for like 2 weeks, and that was something that's a blessing to me.
Definitely. And that's super important to have that support structure,
Mhm.
definitely as you get later in life. Well, you know, Tyrone, you're really well spoken, man. I really appreciate your time. My final question for you is, you know, you inspire the youth to help them guide them on the right direction. What do you think the biggest obstacle that's stopping the youth from reaching their full potential is?
A lot of them they don't have the support system at home. They don't have the support system when they go to school because like you see when you go to these schools and you talk to a lot of the administrators about these kids, like kind of the words that they use for these kids is just like, yeah, you really look at them like that? Like you really look at them as animals or monsters or bad kids. I always tell the kids, you guys aren't bad kids. You guys aren't in this program because you're bad kids. You're just misunderstood. I was once an angry kid. I was once a lost kid, confused kid that kind of didn't know what I wanted to do, didn't know how to do what I wanted to do. And that's all they just need guidance. A lot of the thing that messes up, they just don't have the guidance. And that's what me and my partner, Ronnie Holly, that's what we're here for. So
Definitely. If you could point out one of your biggest success stories from that program, what would it be?
actually, I have a great one. I can't really put into like a very interesting story, but so for instance, I work at this middle school. It's called Goshen Elementary. And I mean, this elementary school is called Goshen Elementary. So the first day our program gets on campus, this is probably 4 months ago. One of the little girls coming to me, she's like, "You're never gonna get me to talk. Like I promise you're not gonna get me to open up to you." I said, "Okay, we will." And she was like, she kept asking me like, "What makes you so sure about it?" I'm like, "Because we actually care. Like I'm not in this for the money. I could not get paid for this, and I promise I still have the same amount of fun that I have." She was like, "Okay, whatever." Like everyone tells me that. I guess she has like 4 or 5 different counselors that she's tried. She's never opened up to them. And fast forward 2 months later, she's opening up to me. She's trying to stay after class, trying to talk to me, tell me about what's going on at home. And then which was last week was their last week of semester. And I'm telling her how I might not end up going back to that school again, like because I might end up transferring to a different school. And she starts crying. She's like, "Oh no, like I definitely gonna miss you, Coach T, and I want you guys to still stay here." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." She was like, "Remember what you told me the first day?" I was like, you told me you weren't gonna open up to me. Look at you now." So that's definitely another story that I have, and just seeing her grow and seeing her. Honestly, she became a leader in that class. Like she spoke very well. She would, when people would mess up, she would check them about it, and that's something that I admire the most is seeing growth out of these kids.
Man, Tyrone, I gotta tell you, that made my day. Hearing that
Yeah,
you're changing the world, man. That's what we
definitely.
we need leaders like you. So I wish you the best of luck, man. I hope you still continue to play football in 2024 because I feel like the game needs you. And just keep on
Sure.
stay in touch.
I appreciate it, man. That's love. Appreciate you for sure.